How P2B used Adebanjo, Aisha Yusufu, Oshuntokun, Ighodalo, and others to defraud Labour Party. Arabambi speaks. I'm sorry. This is the detail. I really want to hear what they have to say. Labour Party calls on the NSC, the National Security Advisor, and EFCC to investigate Aisha Yusufu and Ighodalo for embezzlement, misappropriation, and possible terrorism financing. Gentlemen of the press, the attention of the Labour Party National Working Committee under the leadership of Barrister Julius Abure, National Chairman, and Alhaji Farouk Umar Ibrahim, National Secretary, has been drawn to unguarded comments made against the party leadership by irresponsible, irreparable, irredeemable arsonist Mrs. Aisha Yusufu while trying to defend her involvement in the criminal conspiracy and diversions funds in Labour Party presidential campaign account. The political book corner cum scavenger said the national chairman of our great party, Barrister Julius Abure, was lying as she never embezzled the funds of a party during the campaign for the 2023 election, claiming that our party national chairman was still living in the past, where he thinks he can make such allegations without being fact-checked for its authenticity. Mrs. Aisha Yusufu concluded the defense of her innocence like a patient suffering from bipolar affliction, where she said our party national chairman, Barrister Julius Abure, thinks we are still in the 1980s, where one can lie shamelessly without being fact-checked. Ordinarily, the very silly ranties from this low-life, grossly incompetent and daft Mrs. Aisha Yusufu would have been ignored, but for one reason, to expose the running emptiness and the cheap meal ticket and ATM called Mr. Peter Gregory Onwubuasi, OB. Aisha Yusufu admittance as one of the signatories involved in the criminal conspiracy over the disbursement of Labour Party presidential fund, uploads of agent and payment of agent fees, has further rendered her already torn banner of the political relevance into tattered shreds with their very reckless clandestine spending under the instruction of that desperate political merchant, who the mannerless Yusufu sees as her leader and political guide in their collective stupidity, rushing headlong into their joint political reigns with an ungrateful Senator Ireti Kingibe, who was made a senator of the Federal Republic of Barrister Julius Abure, and Alhaji Farouk Umar Ibrahim with a purchase sum of 500,000 naira only. The unintelligent Yusufu, in her desperate efforts to be heard, claimed she never embezzled the party campaign fund, but failed to explain why Peter Gregory Onwubuasi opted for her and her accomplices, Pastor Itua Ighodalo, who together mismanaged, diverted and failed to account or provide audited account for over 12 billion naira and $15 million in donations to Labour Party. The trio of Adebanjo, Oshuntokun, and Shola Ebisen infractions of Afenifere were also culpable as they committed financial infraction of over 600 million naira, which they retain in their private accounts and that of Afenifere accounts in general. Mr. Peter Gregory Onwubuasi clandestinely hired Aisha Yusufu, Pastor Ighodalo, and this faction of Afenifere to commit looting, criminal conspiracy, diversion and obtaining money under false pretext from the Labour Party presidential campaign fund, and yet these are individuals parading themselves as elder statesmen. For this, Yusufu, a great shame to womanhood, it should have been wiser for her to try to begin to rearrange her hitherto wasted life, in which she has always been standing as a political bond offering for the dull and dumb political trader, Peter Gregory Onwubuasi, dead presidential ambition. Aisha Yusufu would still be wiser to check her puppet naked dance to the public, simply and ignorantly hoping to appear politically correct in the eyes of the equally and very corrupt and daft political bystander that even the political dwarf, Kenneth Okonkwo, has advised to step down from the 2027 presidential race. However, our party chose to freely advise her to find time to lie down the anatomical position and do a serious thinking about her slave life, which has kept exposing her to a stupid acquisition of Peter Gregory Onwubuasi, hate of another person to aggressively transfer to those who she herself has no issues with. All the reason of waiting like a chop. Mrs. Aisha Yusufu is a product of enslaving stomach infrastructure poison. Yusufu is a sorry victim of greed and corrupted mind that are common to all of in the money for hand integrity for ground colony of the political slaves called Peter Gregory Omobasiobi B group. Meanwhile, since this is your position in life as determined by indolence, all we can say is that you are welcome to the life you have willingly chosen. Furthermore, considering the level of the ordinariness pervading the totality of your political life on every scale and in every measure is enough check in a noble human being who has not been relieved of the burden of conscience, decency, and social etiquette to stay loudly reserved and withdrawn from an attempt at insulting our party national chairman, who is by a large, immeasurable distance superior, much more visible and respectable than yours. Your actions and conduct shows you an epitome of manifest corruption, guarded by Mr. Peter Gregory Omobasiobi, your political leader, who is very ordinarily cheap and simple for you to befittingly end up as a service and an errand woman to a man who is pretending to have a life on the license of a seeming honesty and successful political figure. A political figure that events are beginning to put up in the image of a secessionist democracy assassins, promoter of political insurrection, arsonist, tax evader, smart, corner-cutting businessman, and possibly some much more heinous testimonial to yet evolve from the upcoming ongoing official investigation into how he aided you and Ighodalo to criminally mismanage such a huge sum. Aisha Yusufu's statement has confirmed the obvious that this ethically rusty and morally depraved mind has lost her cognitive function of thinking, remembering and reasoning to such a dangerous extent that it has now permanently interfered with her act of making public statement that has ultimately made her one of the worst additions to human race. For the record, we would not have dignified this polylight from these nomadic political misfits and bystanders but for the benefit of the general public who might be misled to think it's a statement made in their interest, and the national chairman, Barrister Julius Abreu, was not responsible for Peter Gregory Omobasiobi loss of presidential election to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as this was just a subtle attempt by them to take over the Labour Party and use it for political insurrection. You know, one thing I'm going to say about this is I hate politics. See how misunderstanding we be say, normal misunderstanding we be say party members will get. See how they come outside, see the kind of words being used. And tomorrow you say that politics is no permanent friend. This kind of thing. Not be me or now. On top of this matter, we go hear the latest soon. Alright, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen until I come your way next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.